This is the bird's eye view of the American dream. From 4 different people in 4 different generations with 4 very different backgrounds and life experiences. Each level represents an aspect of each individual's American dream that correlates to an American dream from a piece of literature that we studied in class. I've also thrown in some symbolism which I'll explain as we go through. My first interviewee, who I will call Edward I, was born in the United States in the 1930s. His dream focused on building a house, a life on a farm, and the possessions the American dream entails for many. I think this is similar to the view of the American dream seen in Of Mice and Men. We see this perspective when George and Lenny first arrived at the farm where they would work. At this point they had a shared vision. Now let's take a look at what that was.
And live off the fat of the land, and have rabbits. Go on, George. Tell about what we're going to have in the garden, and about the rabbits in the cages, and about the rain in the winter, and the stove, and how thick the cream is on the milk, like you can hardly cut it.
My next interviewee, who I will call Lord Shiva, was born in India and became independent in the 1990s. A big part of his dream was the freedom to do what he believed was right. In India, he felt the great amount of social pressure to go against his values. His dream was to escape the titles people wanted to place on him for having different ideas. Throughout all of history, many people have also struggled with social pressures against their desires to do what they thought was right. Many have faced judgment for standing up for those values. John Proctor in The Crucible justly represents this aspiration. They placed the title witch on him for standing up for what he believed was true, and he was ultimately hanged for those beliefs. Man, you will hang! You cannot!
I can, and there's your first marvel, that I can. You have made your magic now, for now I do think I see some shred of goodness in John Proctor. Not enough to weave a banner with, but white enough to keep it from such dogs.
My second to last interviewee, who I will call Rebecca, became independent in the 1980s. The focus of her dream was to live self-sufficiently, apart from government and society. Not that either shouldn't exist, but that she could live mostly independently from them. She believes that no matter your skin color, ethnicity, gender, or disability, everyone should be able to participate in democracy and by extent have access to the American dream. This complements the hope Huckleberry Finn and Jim shared, that they could live independently without people hindering them because they were different and wanted to live adventurously. For Jim to live with his family would go against the norm of society. Even though you might not imagine it, Huck traveling with Jim went against society's norms as well.
It's natural and right for them to talk different from each other, ain't it?
Course.
And ain't it natural and right for a cat and a cow to talk different from us?
Why, most surely it is.
Well then, why ain't it natural and right for a Frenchman to talk different from us? You answer me that.
Is a cat a man, Huck?
No.
Well then, they ain't no sense in a cat talking like a man. Is a cow a man? Is a cow a cat?
No, she ain't either of them.
Well then, she ain't got no business to talk like either one or the other of 'em. Is a Frenchman a man?
Yes.
Well then, dad blame it, why don't he talk like a man? You answer me that.
My last interviewee, who I will call Rowena, was born in the 1980s. She lived in Chile, South America for around 7 years, and recently moved back to America with her husband. She found it important that her dream entails education and the freedom to travel for everyone, including her family. She feels that the American dream includes lots of opportunities to work hard and improve your situation, and study, and to travel, and to work. When she was younger, she thought that that was equally available to all, and it wasn't until she was older and saw the effect of poverty, racism, etc., for her to see that it's harder for some to take advantage of those opportunities. Some of this dream is parallel in the Glass Menagerie. In some ways, her dream is similar to Amanda's in that they both wanted these opportunities for their kids. In other ways, her dream is similar to that of Tom's, in that she wants the freedom to travel and have new experiences and excitement in her life. Although I was born in the United States, I lived in Colombia, South America for 13 years, and we moved back 2 years ago. Here is represented my perspective on the American dream. Because I grew up in another country, I don't necessarily hold to the ideal. My dreams don't coincide with what some define as the American dream, but I believe it is something that will allow me to step further and achieve my aspirations. The American dream is more of a bridge to the world beyond. In conclusion, here are 4 common symbols of American values. This represents justice and equality. This represents liberty, freedom, and independence. This represents freedom, valiance, and the American way of life. This represents growth, progress, and getting ahead.